Before getting into the details of searching databases, I'll first just explain what a database is. So basically, it's a collection of information, usually a series of journal publications, indexes, or other kinds of media stored in one location. The difference between a database and Summon is that Summon is searching all subjects, whereas a database contains information just related to one broad subject area. So an education database, for example, will include information on education, but also on related fields to the field of education. So it will have information related to maybe psychology or other social sciences. Now, the reason why you would use a database over a search engine like Summon is twofold. Firstly, because the database is searching just one broad subject area, it tends to give you a lot less results. So it's easier to browse results, it's easier to assess your results, and it's easier to navigate around your results. The downside of this is that multiple databases will be relevant to your subject area. So if you run one search in one database, it's very likely that you'll need to go and run the same search in a second database to give yourself a good spread of all the information resources that are available. So it can be more time consuming because you do have to do multiple searches as opposed to Summon where you're searching absolutely everything. The other key differences we'll see is that in Summon the subject filters are not very accurate. They're a lot broader because Summon is trying to filter through every single subject that's available. The subject filters in databases tend to be more specific. And this is because, again, it's a database specializing in one broad subject area. So it tends to be able to drill down into subcategories within a subject area more accurately. And this can help you find better, more accurate information for your assignments. So that's just a quick overview of what a database is. We'll now move on. I'll show you how to find a database in your subject area and then how to search within that database. Starting from the library's homepage then, if you want to find the full list of databases available, you just click on the online databases link here under the main search bar. So that brings me through to our A to Z of databases page. And the easiest way to find databases for your subject area is just to filter by subject here at the top. So I'll choose education. And then you can also filter by database type. So if you're searching for a journal article, for example, you choose full text there. The database does give you a best bet. So that's just a suggestion of what it thinks is most relevant to that subject area. But again, it's a good idea to search down through all of these databases, read the descriptions, and then choose the ones that are most relevant to you. It's most likely that you'll have to repeat your searches in multiple databases to get a good spread of results. So it's good to go down and select databases at the beginning of your search so you know how many you're going to end up having to search through. It's also a good idea then to look at the right hand side of the screen here. That information normally will have, if we're trialing a database that we're thinking of maybe subscribing to, we'll have a notification there about any trials that are running, and you'll see we also have links to relevant subject guides as well. So to access any of these databases, you just click on the title. You'll have to put in your username and password and then log in. And so that will bring you then directly into that database where you can start searching. To run a basic keyword search then in this database, all we have to do is type in our keyword into the search box. And one of the main differences between Summon and between a database is that a database will give you more accurate search suggestions and more accurate filters. So here, even though second language acquisition is quite a broad topic, it is giving me much more narrower search suggestions. And that's really helpful in narrowing down your search and getting more accurate results back from the database. So for now, I'm also going to click on the advanced search option. And this is really just to show you that there's no real difference between summon and a database. We still have our Boolean operators here to narrow and broaden our search. We still have our filters where we can narrow it down to abstract, subject, title, author, and so on. You can still click the plus button and add more search terms if you want to, and you still have the same kind of filters. So publication type, if you're looking for an educational report, it gives you that option. If you're looking for a document type like a case study or a literature review, you can filter it by those results as well. So the advanced search function is the same as it is on Summon, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on demonstrating advanced searches because we've already covered that in the Summon video, which you can view on this page as well. For now, I'll go back to the basic search. I'll just run this search second language acquisition and talk a little bit about the results. So when I ran this search in Summon, I think it returned over 400,000 results. I don't have it wrapped in quotation marks or anything here. So comparably, this is only giving me back 14,500 results. Now, it's going to be much easier to filter down 14,000 results than it is to filter down 400,000 results. So that's one of the main benefits of doing database searching, is that it's giving you more realistic, more usable results. Much more easier to navigate through the results in a database than it is in something like Summon. So we're seeing the search term coming up. We're seeing the subject areas here. If I click on the title of the article, it will bring me through to more information about that article where I can read the abstract as well. If I just go back for now, so I can still have my filters, but you can see the subject area is going to give me better filters, more accurate ways to narrow down my search by subject area. And that is really the big benefit of using databases over using Summon. If I do click back onto one of these titles, you can see that I can still export the citation to my EndNote library. Again, check out the EndNote videos for more information on that. I can add my articles here to a temporary folder. With this database, you can actually register an account and then you can save. These folders will become permanent folders. If you don't register an account and sign in, they'll just end up being temporary folders. And if I click on that folder now, in the same way that Summon works, it will bring me to my saved searches where I can then export to my EndNote libraries. I'll just go back to this main page here. And so just really to summarize how that works. So your search engines are basically the same as what you have in Summon. It's just going to return smaller result sets with better filters for narrowing down your searches. And then the downside of this is I would have to then go back out to my databases page, find another database, and then rerun this search in a different database to see if I can get a better spread of results. Because again, Summon covers all of the subject areas and all of the databases, whereas this is just one individual database. So if you are struggling with Summon, this is a much easier way to run searches, because the search results it's giving you are much more manageable than what you'll get in the larger search engine Summon. Finally, I just want to draw your attention briefly to these symbols here that are attached to each article. So if you click on that symbol, it will open up a page where it's going to show you a number of metrics or measures for how successful or how used that article is. And this can be useful information for you. So if you have 20 articles, but you only really need to read 12 of those, and they all look relevant based on the abstract and the subject areas and that kind of thing, you can use this information to help you decide which articles to read. So the information that's included here will be the number of times, for example, that this article has been cited in other work that's been published. It also has the number of times it's been captured with referencing software. So how many people, including students who view this, have actually captured it to be referenced. It will usually tell you how many times it's been downloaded, how many times it's been accessed. So the higher these numbers are, the more popular and the more authoritative that particular article is. And you will see that there's even social media metrics. So how many times, for example, how many times has something been mentioned on Twitter? So this one has been mentioned 4 times on Twitter. So this article, not being used a great deal, but it has only been published in 2020, as we can see up here. So this is just an extra tool that's available on the databases that you can use to help you decide which articles you're going to read and which ones might actually be the most authoritative for your subject area.